Hello and welcome, everybody. And give me just a moment to get situated here. Here we go. Hello and welcome. I'm so excited to see so many people here tonight. My name is Tanya Day, and I am here at the Orange County Historical Museum. And tonight you have joined us for my Diary of Online Dating, featuring author, poet, entrepreneur, Adrainne Renee Thompson. Before I go much further, I want to say we are recording this event tonight, which is great. I can get you a link to this recording by Monday. But I say that we're recording because this is going to be a little bit more informal, a little bit more interactive. And so as we go along, as Adrainne is reading her experiences, we would love for you to react. If you feel comfortable showing your face, I want to see those facial reactions, and so does Adrainne. If you feel comfortable turning off your microphone and asking a question, feel free to do it. And so I want to let you know we are recording. Your face will be on the recording, but we want to hear what you have to say because Adrainne is going to have some good stuff to be hearing. So again, my name is Tanya here at the Orange County Historical Museum, and I will be moderating tonight's program. A bit about Adrainne before we get started. Adrainne Renee Thompson is a mother, grandmother, motivational speaker, author, poet, and an entrepreneur all in one. She has won several poetry contests. She's spoken at read-ins at the Orange and Alamance County Public Libraries and written poems for their special occasions. One of her most honorable achievements was becoming the very first African-American to have poetry pieces displayed at the SunTrust Gallery in the Captain White House in Graham, North Carolina. She also holds workshops on bridging language barriers, coaching and training and organizational skills, self-sufficiency, and public speaking. And again, Adrainne has said in between her readings tonight, she would love for you to pop out questions, comments. So if you feel comfortable with your voice and your face being on this recording, please feel free to do so. And now let's delve into the social epidemic, which is online dating. And Adrainne, I am unmuting you. I am starting your video, and I'm excited to see what you got.
Thank you. Thank you. Should I be able to see myself?
You should. Oh, and that's a good tip as well. If you'd like, please put yourself onto active speaker view. That's going to be the best viewing experience for you tonight. And let's see, are you going to be able to start your video? Here you come.
Hey, how's everybody? I can't hear anybody, but I'm assuming everybody as well. Let me try to get that light on.
Hello, Adrainne. This is Cynthia. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Hi.
Hi.
Can everybody see me okay?
Yes. You can. You're looking good. Looking sharp.
Keep those compliments coming. I like it. Now, do y'all see my Cowboys betting back there? Y'all see my Cowboys?
We don't need to see that, thank you.
I just wanted to make sure that I featured them as well.
Bill, she wants to feature her Cowboys.
But I'm so excited, and thank you all for joining me in this time tonight. I need to sound like a Grammy Awards winner just for a moment or two if you guys will be patient with me. First, giving honor to my God, who is absolutely first place in my life. If it wasn't for him giving me this talent, I wouldn't even be able to do this. And I constantly thank him for being a fence around me and a protective shield of love every day. To my family, regardless of whom or what, you always have my back. Whether you agree with what I do or not, you have my back. For that, I say thank you. I'm going to feature my kids hopefully a little later. My son had another engagement, and so hopefully he might join in a little later and you'll get to see my children and my grands. Next, Courtney, Tanya, and the staff of Hillsborough Museum, thank you for asking me to do this. When I turned in my book and my dating picture, I wouldn't have, beyond my wildest dreams, I wouldn't have thought that y'all would have given me this type of recognition. But you know what's really special to me is the fact that we get to break away from our normal routine of life and just get an opportunity to just talk with different people about different things. And that's just wonderful. Now, for my disclaimers, please know that I am not here to get any of you to change your mind, your opinion, or your feelings about online dating, because those feelings and opinions are yours and they're real. I just want to serve as a resource. Some poems may differ a little bit from the book so that I can accommodate this Zoom call. Some are lengthy, but I promise you, you won't be bored. Keep in mind, they were written, as the young people say, in my feelings. So writing was very therapeutic for me. And as we move forward, I ask that we stay open-minded and cautious because this can be a sensitive subject matter to some. Know that I am an open book, pun intended. So feel free to ask anything. I don't mind sharing because that helps people to grow and know that they are not alone. And lastly, if anything is said to offend anyone, allow me to apologize in advance because it's never my intention to hurt. When I told my family I was trying this, they were apprehensive and skeptical at first also, and they immediately went into prayer mode. But I was not having any good fortune traditionally, so I thought, okay, I gotta try something different. I've learned not only through online dating that a lot of times you have to step out of your comfort zone in order to grow and challenge yourself, or complacency will definitely set in. With that being said, let me shake things up a bit. I'm going to ask you guys a question before I get started. Now, some of you may be a little reluctant to answer since everybody can see everybody, but I really want you to answer this question. Have you ever met someone traditionally, face to face, and you dated them or even married them, and they didn't turn out to be who, what, or how you thought they were going to be? Anybody?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So as you can see, it's the same type of risk. So let's start with the first poem entitled, You May Not Agree. Online dating is heavy on the scene, especially now with limited resources and COVID-19. Social distancing is real, so you have to find a way of entertaining yourself when you're home all day. It's a social epidemic in this era. Just as much attention is given to this as any other social media. Some may frown upon this and state it's a risk, but with the virus having no definite end, it's a resource to meet a new friend. Plus, meeting in person is a risk too, sometimes more than few. The real person doesn't surface until they get with you. It may not be ideal to do, but right now it's the safest dating method for you. More sites have developed now than ever before and extending special deals. Pay less, get matched more. Believe it or not, some people do pay. They feel the participants are more serious this way. It's a resource to start conversation. So when the virus lifts, you got a head start on a companion. Online dating is a hot commodity. Don't knock it just because you may not agree. So that's your first one. Now, I would absolutely be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my BFF for almost 40 years. Is Beverly on? She might come in a little bit later.
I have a Beverly Payne.
Beverly Mitchell is her name.
Oh, not quite yet, but I
Okay.
do have a Kelvin.
Okay, well, he's coming in. Good. That's great. So we'll wait until I'll go ahead and still feature them at the end, as I said then. So that's great. I'm glad he's on. Okay, so Beverly is my best friend going on 40 years next year. And she was my go-to person that I would call to let her know all the details of where I was and who I was with. When you buy the book, and notice I said when, but seriously, if you buy my book, you will see a compilation of dating questions. I started those when my son and now daughter-in-law were getting married. These are great questions. Beverly assisted me with this section of the book. Can we get, well, you said that she is not on there right now, right? But so many more questions need to be asked, especially now with the new normal generation we are living in. For baby boomers, back to the silent generation, when we dated, or used to say courted, we dated with a purpose to ultimately get married, have children, the whole white picket fence, right? Our primary focuses were, did they come from a good home? What's their parents and siblings like? Good education? Did they have a job? And do they have their own vehicle? Now, this new millennium Gen Z generation, you may need to ask simply define dating. What is your ultimate goal? Are we dating for marriage or just to hang out? How do you feel about titles, pronouns? Because of one's sexual preferences and identities. How many children do they have? Their views on marriage is important because we do have couples that practice open marriages. Some are swingers and some support polygamy. So I won't read all the questions because there are many, but I will read you the introduction. Talk about these topics or ask these questions when the timing is right. It truly gives you more things to discuss with greater insight. Don't use them to interrogate, just bring them in a regular conversation to determine if you wish to continue to date. Ask them these questions face to face so you can see how their answers are expressed. You won't be able to determine that over the phone, in an email, or in a text. And who knows, eventually that date may become your eternal mate. Now, I like to advise this. Don't just use these questions as a start to your relationship. Bring them out every 6 months to a year and track your progress. Since,
Oh,
since
that's a sweet one. I like that.
Thank you. Since my book published, I've had friends and family that thank me for giving them the courage to try online dating. And we have really shared some interesting stories. However, we did agree that it's not as scary as you think. In any dating situation, you just have to pray, trust your instincts, and be safe. So let's listen to online dating safety tips. If you decide to use this method, listen to the words coming off of my lips and take heed to these online dating safety tips. Tip one, continue to communicate online, Facebook, or email before giving them the number to your cell. And even when you do, suggest using FaceTime or Duo to make sure it's the same face that you know. Tip two, always let someone know the dates, time, and location so they can be available if you have to call. And arrive a little early to get a picture of their vehicle. Once you've been together and having good conversation, see if they like selfies. And if they do, make it fun. Don't make it obvious you're going to send this picture to someone. But now you're all set. You got their vital information, their name, face, make and model of the car, and the license plate. Tip three, always park where there's light. So if anything happens, you'll be in plain sight. Once they drive up, be still and wait. Call first, see if they answer, just to confirm this is your date. If the place is full and you change your mind, don't get in the same car. You follow from behind. Tip four, if you have to be excused and you've ordered a drink, just stay. Finish that drink. Don't ever walk away.
Mhm.
Five, pay attention to their every word and watch their body language. This is important to observe. Look for red flags with the time you spend, like if they talk more than they are willing to listen, or if they barely say a word at all. That should make you feel quite awkward and uncomfortable. And at the end of the night, women, notice if he walks you to your car first before going to his instead, because you want him to prove that chivalry isn't dead. And men, you need to take the same precautions because unfortunately, all women don't have good intentions. It's the little things she can do to make things safe for you. Once she is in her car, if she shines her lights so that you can see, this means she wants you to get to your car safely. Kindness and safety are a two-way street. So you have to be careful too with the women you meet. I could go on and on with safety tips to define, but mostly stay prayed up and cautious whether you meet traditionally or online. What you think about
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that was really nice.
You know, I really like the tip about taking a photo of the car. That's smart.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's
Yeah,
right.
and arriving early, definitely.
Yes. After my divorce, I really thought I was ready to get back into the dating scene because I love. I love committed relationships. But when you move too quickly and don't give your mind, body, and soul time to heal, you are usually dating out of loneliness, depression, or it's a rebound. Take time for yourself. Indulge in the waiting period. It'll come. What God has for you is for you. Here's from divorce to destiny. Two hearts split that were thought to be true. The issues that arose you couldn't see yourselves through. You can't believe the love has gone, but it's time to truly move on. All marriages God don't put together. We do what we think is right, only later to find out we needed the strength of his might. I have to give myself some time and just focus on me, but I hope God knows I don't want to be lonely. I know the right person is out there for me. It just might take some time to go from divorce to destiny.
That was very nice. I liked it.
Thank you.
You're here, you're here. Did you like it?
That's my grandbaby.
You were just talking. Did you like it?
Okay, now you have to always stay honest with yourself. You have to ask yourself these same questions. Are you ready to date? Ready for a committed relationship? A lot of times we think we are, or we think we know what we want. But when it happens, you see that you are not ready at all. You don't want to hurt others and miss your blessing because you have your eyes wide shut and your nose wide open. Let's listen to Heart Under Construction. I have been in constant prayer for a man like you. Now that God has delivered you to me, I am reserved and unsure. I know you are being so patient with me. I'm grateful for that. I don't want to lose you. After all, we just met. I am trying to figure out what's wrong with my heart. Why does it still feel empty? Don't I deserve to be loved finally? But I do ask not to give up on me because I want to love you unconditionally. I'm obviously still dealing with the things in my past, and I don't want to place that in your lap. These are my personal demons. They're not your mishaps. But I just appreciate all that you do. And while my heart is under construction, I want to simply say thank you. It is important to be complete, whole, secure within yourself. You need to make sure you are not carrying any emotional baggage from one relationship to another because it's unhealthy for you and not fair to the new potential partner. You don't like to get hurt, so it works the same for the person you are bringing into your life. You may win some, you may lose some, but still good, solid decisions has to be made. Sometimes it's better to walk away regardless of how bad it hurts. Here's a sacrifice. The Christian walk is not a roll of the dice. It's compassion, compromising, and occasionally being a sacrifice. What was I thinking for I had the chance to possibly make you my man? But did I want you under the circumstances when you had given another woman a glance? I left our meet and greet knowing you had your interest in too. I wanted to make sure you made the best choice for you. So I encourage you to give her the benefit of the doubt and give her another opportunity and go out. But I lost and my spirits needs a lift. But I'd rather be sad knowing you are happy than to be with me and wondering what if. I may have paid a tremendous price by allowing myself to be a sacrifice. I was taught to be thankful for the little bit. So with that being said, thank you for the hour that we spent. God allowed our paths to cross. For that, I'm content. The Christian walk is often lonely, but I don't suffer any regrets, and I won't think twice about making myself a sacrifice. The beauty of online dating is you can shut it off at any time. After I realized that I needed to focus on me and not take anyone through my emotional divorce demons and not move too quickly, I signed back on with a new attitude. I was a better me. I was self-assured, self-aware, and honestly, a little bit selfish. It was overdue and time for me to protect my own heart, which you should do anyway. It's never anyone's responsibility to make you happy, whole, and complete. When you relinquish that to someone else, you just surrendered power and control over your own emotions. So be careful. I learned my worth and value. I was unapologetic, turning away riffraff. Anything that did not make me feel peacefully warm and fuzzy had to go. Giddy warm and fuzzy is different than God's warm and fuzzy. Know the difference. Here's your true colors. A stranger online, then a text and a voice. We decided to meet on Sunday. That was a good choice. You spoke French, oui, oui. Wow, the romance, compassion, and sensitivity captivated and intrigued me. The qualities you possess were my prayer to God, but today something went strange and very odd. You text me and said I did something that hurt you, but because it took me a while to apologize, you made me feel disciplined and a bit criticized. I offered an explanation as to why, but it seemed that you still weren't satisfied. Your tone came across a bit controlling in your text. It caught me so off guard, I didn't know what to reply next. After taking the remainder of the day to absorb this situation and pray, I replied back, I think it'll be best if we took a step back and not meet, not just yet. I still think you have potential to be a swell guy, at least that's what I gathered from the call, but the text showed a different side of you that made me really appalled. Thanks for being patient while I made my decision. People come into your life for a season and a reason. Be blessed in the Lord, for his goodness is forever, but I sure do thank him for exposing your true colors. See, when you enter relationships and love soberly, you can catch the red flags early. Let's check out red flags.
Oh no. Dun dun dun.
And right, it was too many red flags from the moment I parked. I didn't like the area and you had to walk. I started to leave at the drop of a hat, but you had paid for my visit, so it was rude to do that. First impressions are lasting. This didn't get any better. In fact, the more we did, the more I was wishing it was over. On the phone, you were so forthright, positive, and vulnerable, so I was excited to meet someone so sensitive and respectful. But your walk didn't match your talk. I mean, you were sweet as can be, but you appeared to be settled in life, caught in a rut, and okay with complacency. Now, the hotel you had gotten for me was nice. I was really satisfied. And the meal you prepared for me was simply delicious and divine. But the next morning for church, you were cleaner than the board of health. But that was a facade to what happened next. You told me you were going to go home to change clothes. So I'm thinking a casual dress shirt and some slacks. But oh no, you had on wrinkled jeans and a Clorox stained t-shirt when you got back. That led to some bantering back and forth. And I told him this displaying the struggle is real mentality did not score no brownie points and that did not impress me. I honestly questioned, where was your pride? I was insanely furious with myself and regretted I had made this long drive. You felt I was judging you, but that wasn't my tag. I thought I was being helpful for you for your next date, cautioning you to eliminate these red flags.
Honestly, Adrian, I had a date just like this. It was awful. But we'll talk about that on another time.
Exactly. Thank you for the honesty, though. Like I said, you win some, you lose some. Along with staying safe, regardless of what dated method you use, loving yourself, being complete, knowing your value and worth, date for yourself. Leave outside distractions and other people out of the equation. At the end of the day, the relationship boils down to the two people that are in it. Also, date above where you are in life. Not that the person is better, but they will always keep you motivated, encouraging, and wanting better for yourself. If you don't, you may find yourself at a plateau. Let's listen to Take Initiative. I just wanted to take a minute and write to ask, is this what I am to expect? To allow a few days to pass and me not hear from you yet? When you reached out to me on this site, I got a little giddy because you weren't a total stranger. You were very familiar to me. And we have mutual friends in the same circle. So I had been seeing you around town. You were popular in the community. This I could see. So yes, I was a little excited that you had reached out to me. But after our first date and no follow up again, I noticed this area was obviously quite challenging. You explained why. The reason was confusing, but your actions certainly did not lie. I had to decide if I could deal with that. I had to explain my view that a woman likes to be wooed and the chaser was his task. I had to know if he could deal with that. So I proceeded to ask. He stated he would do his best, but it seemed like I was putting him through such a test. And it was a while that I heard from you, so I gathered it was something you wasn't willing to do. I wrote to you and summed things up, and still you didn't come through. So I dropped all correspondence and making any contact with you. But after taking a look back, I hope you didn't mind what I said because I can be rather forthright and candid. Honestly, I apologize if I came across too strong, but I was very disappointed. I looked back over all of our contacts just to view what could be going wrong, and I noticed I had reached out far more than you. That's when I said, enough is enough. I have not invested any time in this to already allow the same old stuff. I am worth being pursued and I won't devalue myself and just settle for you. You cheated yourself by not initiating the chase. Now you don't have a good woman to share your space. And you cheated me. You came across so charming and all, but now I see I dodged a bullet, and sadly, my heart still has a thick wall. I am a king's kid, and he has me in wait. So that's how I got to live. He'll present me with who he has for me, one after his own heart that cares for me and definitely will take initiative. I was planning to continue my diary and not publish this book until I met the one. But it seemed to not want to happen, and my publisher gave me a good deal to go ahead and publish. So I took the more realistic offer and I published. But I have met some amazing men who turned out to be incredible friends. Let's listen to Change of Heart. The original version was written about me, but later changed as a biography for this gentleman who passed away. The book is actually in memory and dedicated to him and our friendship, A Change of Heart. We met March 14th, 2016 on an online dating site. Your being genuine is what attracted me to you. Plus, you stated you were looking for a committed relationship too. You explained that you had a severe disability to endure. So I safely assumed you weren't into games and drama, and I could put my trust in you. Our long conversations, your sense of humor, and showing that you care was part of the total package I envisioned as being quite the pair. You didn't waste any time coming to meet me, and that was great. And you were so complimentary. Now that I really appreciate. I felt so comfortable and safe that I invited you to my place. What a gentleman you were there. I can't tell you how grateful I was for the amount of respect you showed me while you were there. When I realized you were a gifted and talented musician that sung gospel songs, I knew right then you loved the Lord and we would certainly get along. But after a few weeks of hanging out, I witnessed some things that created doubt. I started seeing a part of you that you obviously couldn't live without. You had way too many female acquaintances, groupies, if you will, that kept your mind in a tailspin and apparently your heart filled. I appreciated the time we had together from our first meet and greet, but my worth was far too valuable for me to try to compete. So instead of a relationship, we decided just to be friends. We got very close, like sisters and brothers. This allowed us to have a whole new appreciation for one another. We promised each other never to part. Thank you, Father, for giving us a different direction into an amazing friendship and giving us a change of heart.
That's nice.
And keep in mind, sometimes you may not ever meet who you are online with. Everyone that you meet online isn't meant for you to meet them in person. I still have a good friendship with this gentleman going on 10 years. And guess what? We've never met. Here's a blind online hookup. It was the age of social media. We both were new to the scene, being birthed at the same time, exposing ourselves and gambling with love online. We started with a wink, then a message, and progressed to the text. I just sat back asking often, what's going to happen next? This is hard for the both of us, as we probably shouldn't bother, but it's amazing how wonderful we made each other feel, although barely knowing one another. I don't understand things, how they work out the way that they do. Why we had to go through so many relationships before you met me and I met you. Nonetheless, we can be lifelong friends, and I truly mean that, till the very end. We finally heard each other's voice, but we haven't put a face with a name. I guess that's the fun, the fantasy, the intriguing sensation from this online dating game. Thank you, online dating, for one of the kindest dates yet, connecting one to a stranger, now a friend, even though we haven't met. I will always be your buddy, as you lovingly call me. We don't know what the future holds. We have to just wait and see. But above all, regardless of what will be, you're my brother in Christ. That's how I love you, and that's how you should love me.
Hmm.
Other than being catfished only once, I have to praise God that I haven't had any bad experiences. Well, any life threatening experiences, but definitely some bad, unfavorable ones. In fact, this happened to me twice, both traditionally and online, where I was in a long standing relationship that ended up with him in another woman's arms. Let's listen to Prepping You for Her. Prepping You for Her is a letter to my ex. My desire was to be with you forever. Days, weeks, and months passed as we if he could deal with that. So I proceeded to ask. He stated he would do his best, but it seemed like I was putting him through such a test. And it was a while that I heard from you, so I gathered it was something you wasn't willing to do. I wrote to you and summed things up, and still you didn't come through. So I dropped all correspondence and making any contact with you. But after taking a look back, I hope you didn't mind what I said because I can be rather forthright and candid. Honestly, I apologize if I came across too strong, but I was very disappointed. I looked back over all of our contacts just to view what could be going wrong, and I noticed I had reached out far more than you. That's when I said, enough is enough. I have not invested any time in this to already allow the same old stuff. I am worth being pursued, and I won't devalue myself and just settle for you. You cheated yourself by not initiating the chase. Now you don't have a good woman to share your space. And you cheated me. You came across so charming and all, but now I see I dodged a bullet, and sadly, my heart still has a thick wall. I am a king's kid, and he has me in wait. So that's how I got to live. He'll present me with who he has for me, one after his own heart that cares for me and definitely will take initiative. I was planning to continue my diary and not publish this book until I met the one, but it seemed to not want to happen, and my publisher gave me a good deal to go ahead and publish. So I took the more realistic offer and I published. But I have met some amazing men who turned out to be incredible friends. Let's listen to Change of Heart. The original version was written about me, but later changed as a biography for this gentleman who passed away. The book is actually in memory and dedicated to him and our friendship, A Change of Heart. We met March 14th, 2016 on an online dating site. Your being genuine is what attracted me to you. Plus, you stated you were looking for a committed relationship too. You explained that you had a severe disability to endure. So I safely assumed you weren't into games and drama, and I could put my trust in you. Our long conversations, your sense of humor, and showing that you care was part of the total package I envisioned as being quite the pair. You didn't waste any time coming to meet me, and that was great. And you were so complimentary. Now that I really appreciate. I felt so comfortable and safe that I invited you to my place. What a gentleman you were there. I can't tell you how grateful I was for the amount of respect you showed me while you were while you were there. When I realized you were a gifted and talented musician that sung gospel songs, I knew right then you loved the Lord and we would certainly get along. But after a few weeks of hanging out, I witnessed some things that created doubt. I started seeing a part of you that you obviously couldn't live without. You had way too many female acquaintances, groupies, if you will, that kept your mind in a tailspin and apparently your heart filled. I appreciated the time we had together from our first meet and greet, but my worth was far too valuable for me to try to compete. So instead of a relationship, we decided just to be friends. We got very close, like sisters and brothers. This allowed us to have a whole new appreciation for one another. We promised each other never to part. Thank you, Father, for giving us a different direction into an amazing friendship and giving us a change of heart.
That's nice.
And keep in mind, sometimes you may not ever meet who you are online with. Everyone that you meet online isn't meant for you to meet them in person. I still have a good friendship with this gentleman going on 10 years. And guess what? We've never met. Here's a blind online hookup. It was the age of social media. We both were new to the scene, being birthed at the same time, exposing ourselves and gambling with love online. We started with a wink, then a message, and progressed to the text. I just sat back asking often, what's going to happen next? This is hard for the both of us as we probably shouldn't bother. But it's amazing how wonderful we made each other feel, although barely knowing one another. I don't understand things, how they work out the way that they do. Why we had to go through so many relationships before you met me and I met you. Nonetheless, we can be lifelong friends, and I truly mean that till the very end. We finally heard each other's voice, but we haven't put a face with a name. I guess that's the fun, the fantasy, the intriguing sensation from this online dating game. Thank you, online dating, for one of the kindest dates yet, connecting one to a stranger, now a friend, even though we haven't met. I will always be your buddy, as you lovingly call me. We don't know what the future holds. We have to just wait and see. But above all, regardless of what will be, you're my brother in Christ. That's how I love you, and that's how you should love me.
Hmm.
Other than being catfished only once, I have to praise God that I haven't had any bad experiences. Well, any life threatening experiences, but definitely some bad, unfavorable ones. In fact, this happened to me twice, both traditionally and online, where I was in a long standing relationship that ended up with him in another woman's arms. Let's listen to Prepping You for Her. Prepping You for Her is a letter to my ex. My desire was to be with you forever. Days, weeks, and months passed as we drew closer. But little did I know I was prepping you for her. I introduced you to my family and friends, church functions, social events, and more. Some things you favored, others you didn't, but you said you appreciated the exposure. Clothing choices, family ties, financial matters, and career decisions. We were meant to be together. It was a cinch. We discussed everything. Our relationship was intense. You told me you loved me and things would never change. For the first time in a long time, I thought I met the ideal man. You told me practically every day how I had helped you grow in so many ways. Each day and time together was never the same. We had given happiness a brand new name. But after a few invested years, I noticed you pulling away. What happened to what we had? Our exciting life had gone from good to bad. I had been replaced without one single clue, hint, comma, courtesy, email, or text after I had given you so much of myself. Please explain to me why my rewards were being reaped by someone else. And when confronted, all you have to say is, please understand, I am not the same man. Well, I guess not. You flipped the script. You took all you gained from me into your new relationship. Wow, I feel duped, bamboozled. Had I fallen for the okie doke? Where were we? Where we are now is so far from where we were. The reality is, obviously, I prepped you for her.
Mm.
And
Mm.
we're coming down to the wire. Since the book published, I was surprised how many friends reached out and shared with me that online dating is how they met their spouse. Air, Cynthia Williams, can you put a spot on
I,
Cynthia?
I'm here. I am here.
Cynthia met her spouse online. How long have y'all been married?
We have been married. It will be 12 years in July of 2022. We
Congratulations.
met. Yes, we met April of 2009. We dated for 15 months, and we were married in July of 2010.
Wow.
It is both. It's both our second marriage for both of us, and I can truly say it's the best relationship I've ever been in, and that's the truth.
Wow. Cynthia, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate just the support and the friendship. And I just had to call Cynthia because I just wanted her to show that it really can work. You know, you just stay prayed up and trust your instincts. Thank you, Cynthia.
It really can work. And in your tip session, we did all of that. We talked on the phone first. We met at a neutral place at a restaurant at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That was our first date. We met at different places for a while before I ever introduced him to anyone. And we dated for months before I ever took him to church.
That's good. That is good. Absolutely. You want to be sure before you definitely start involving family and especially your church family. Cynthia, is your husband there?
So, he is not. He had to work late, so.
Okay.
But yeah.
Thank you so much.
But it was different, very interesting, but it just makes you a little bit cautious. I think you're not so, you're watching what you're doing as opposed to sometimes I think when you see each other, you get a little bit comfortable soon. Mm-hmm. So that it just kept me on my toes a bit. And I think that's how when red flags would come up and this or that, you would see them and pay attention to them more so than hindsight where you would say, okay, I remember that 6 months ago and I should have paid attention to it then. So yeah, I am very happy in our marriage together. We have 5 children together. The youngest is 12 and the oldest is 35. So it's definitely a blended family and I'm excited about it, enjoying the ride. And thank you for featuring me. It's been a while since I've seen you. You look wonderful, by the way.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate you again. Thank you, Cynthia. I really appreciate her open and honesty. And here's how a real relationship should be. The final poem for the evening, I expect us. And this is my prayer for a God-fearing mate and our relationship. I expect you to be an old soul reared by God-fearing parents with good, clean, and wholesome value and morals. So my expectations is that you won't be half a man, but one who seeks God and is complete and whole. I have prayed that God send me a mirrored image of himself. When he places you in my life, then I don't have to wait for anyone else. Then I expect us to have respect and love for our families and care about service to others, because that's what makes the world go round, loving on our sisters and brothers. I expect us to love one another like God loves his church. Nothing or no one will come in between us. That's what will make our relationship work. I expect us to be forthright, transparent, vulnerable, and honest with everything we say and do, because if we become an exclusive couple, we will no longer represent ourselves. You'll represent me and I you. I expect us to be people of our word that breeds integrity. We need to be true and committed, surrendering ourselves to I to you and you to me. I expect us never to go without discussing everything, regardless of how big or how small, because when we shelter our thoughts and feelings, that's when things will fall. I expect us to have date nights, romance, cuddle, and sensuality. I expect us to honor our love languages and center to it to the 10th degree. I expect us to surprise one another with special gifts and such. If you think about it, do it, whether it's a special date or just because. That really adds a special touch. I expect us to always say and do what we need to comfort one another and make the other feel safe. Because other than God's heart, our relationship is our special safe place. I expect us to pray over one another, for one another, with one another, so that we are covered in his blood and our relationship is blessed, because this will give us strength to pass any test. I expect us to be truthful when something is not complimentary, so that we can always represent ourselves attractively. I expect us to be uncensored, honest, without being reluctant or hesitant. I don't want us trying to figure things out, gray areas. We need to know exactly what we meant. Bottom line, I expect us to expect nothing less than 100% of our time together being well spent. Thank you, everybody. I hope
Love
you
it.
enjoyed.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I am still reeling though from the one about how you prepared him for her. I cannot move past that emotion. It's to the way that, first of all, the way you're using your words to write about it. And second of all, it's like a gut punch.
Thank you, Tanya. I'm having a little
You
problem
not
with it.
lying. Prepping you for her is my favorite. I feel like I have been the test dummy plenty of times, and then it's just like, well, you're welcome. You're
Yeah, yeah.
welcome.
Exactly. Yeah. Before we open it for questions, if you don't mind, Tanya, can I introduce my kids and grandchildren?
Please do so, because we have Kelvin back. And
Okay. So Kelvin, that's my son. He's an music educator in Charlotte. And Kelvin, is Alicia there?
Hello. Now she's in the car right now. We had 1,000 things going on this evening, guys. I have my 5-year-old in gymnastics. We just finished up with her. I got my newborn out in the car with my wife. We're trying to get her something to eat now. So, and I had a whole nother Zoom going on for my newborn who's being dedicated at church this coming Sunday. But you know, the brisket that's a chicken quesadilla for the adult. My bad, ordering food as we speak. Nonetheless, though, here's the oldest one. Miss Lear, she came in the store with me, saying hey to Grandma Bella.
Oh.
And
Hello,
everybody else.
I love you.
Hopefully y'all guys got to see the other one when
Yeah,
I was sitting
earlier.
out in the hallway when Mom was doing her thing, and I had the other one with me then, and then the brisket burrito. I kind of went. Well, you gotta take that sign down. All right, well then,
Oh
let
my
me do
goodness.
a chicken burrito. But
He's
yeah,
doing too
my
much.
favorite was definitely the prepping you for her. I know that these prepping you for her. You know, we've lived. My sister and I have lived through some of these firsthand. You know, and it's a blessing to be able to see her story, be able to be, you know, scripted in a way that's given back to other people. She's always had a way with words. So I'm not surprised at all one bit. And you know, we love you and keep doing what you're doing, and we support everything that you got going on.
Thank you, son. Mommy loves. And then Renee.
Renee, there she is. She's on.
Oh, there she.
Black beans. I'm ready now. Black beans. I'm sorry. I got 15 things going on in the with
Tanya,
me,
you might have to mute my son. I think he's
Let me
at
go
the
steak. Let me go
restaurant.
steak. Extra steak.
Tanya, are
Still,
you
I need
able to
to
mute my son?
I sure did.
Okay.
And then I think Renee just unmuted herself.
Okay.
Hi.
That's my daughter, Renee. And she is my partner in crime at the business. And she also is a licensed massage sports therapist. And she is just my partner in crime.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Can you check and see whether or not Beverly Mitchell came on?
Yeah, let's see. I still have I have a Beverly Payne.
Okay. Oh, I want to hope Beverly didn't forget. But anyway, if I have any siblings on, if they would wave and say hello, Iris Chapman, Rosa McAfee, that's a couple of siblings. I think I've seen my brother Stanley and sister Loretta.
Jump on, y'all, if you'd like to. Feel free to turn your videos on.
Hi guys, this is Loretta. Agent Star can't turn my video on. Just had the grands here and just delivered one of them back to their mom. As always, you did an awesome job. I wouldn't expect anything less.
Mm-hmm.
So great job.
Iris, I am about old enough for Adrian's mom, and the oldest of the 9. And I thank Tanya and Courtney for putting this together. I kind of knew they were going to do something like this. So we are very proud. I've worked with them as well. They're just super people. And
Yeah.
I just want to say, I think I've lived through many of these characters, Adrienne.
Do you know their names?
I know some of them.
See, that's why you can't let everybody talk.
That's, I'll just be quiet because I don't want to start talking.
Oh, I see my sister Allie came on, and I think my sister Rosa's there as well.
Yes, this is Rosa, and I am not coming on camera tonight, but I would not want to have missed this. Being of the right brain or the left brain, a mathematician, this literary English, putting emotions into words and rhyming and being sacrificial but loving to care. It's just way beyond my understanding. That you don't close up and resent men altogether, but still exposing yourself to love and excitement and expectation and not letting it get you down. I think you're an awful poet. You are truly a work of art.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Yes.
I appreciate that. And you definitely can't judge them all from one. They're all very different in their own way.
Wow, I tell you, this online dating is new for me, but I see that's the way of where we're going to. Fortunately, I did not have to go through that, and I met someone without the online dating, and when I married the person, Adrienne wrote me a beautiful, beautiful poem, and she's always able to take these words and rhyme them and make them say exactly what you want to hear. So I hope the young people listen to what she said. Be careful while you're out there online and take in what she said. She said had a lot of good points, a lot of questions that you should ask and look out for when you're doing the online dating, but not only online, even in physical. Those are very good questions anyway. So thank you, Adrienne, and
thank you.
You've always been the organized poet and just very together. So it just came forth tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think my screen was moving around. Is my brother Stanley on?
Yeah. Hi, Adrienne. This is Stanley. I'm not going to turn the camera on because I told you I was going to be traveling to Chicago.
Yeah.
And I'm in Chicago now.
Good.
Safe and secure.
Yay.
I'm in Chicago with my lovely wife of 44 years.
Woo.
And we didn't do the online thing, but I don't know. I think what we might do after hearing you tonight, I think me and my wife might practice online, just the two of us, and just see how we do. But
this family is something else. I'm sorry.
A great job.
Thank you.
I might turn my camera on just for one hot second so you can see the word Flint. Everybody know where Flint is. Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, the water.
but anyway, great job, and I really enjoyed the input from others. And congratulations to, I think it was this the young lady that had been married for 12 years.
Yeah,
Cynthia.
So anyway, congratulations. Great job.
Thank you. I was trying to see who, Mike, I got two nieces out there, Crystal and Allison. Yes.
Hi, Auntie. So proud of you. I'm just floored at your ability to just continue to impress and surprise and just dictate such meaningful passages so effortly. So thank you for sharing and always shining so bright and being such a guide for us. I love it.
I love you. Thank you. Allison had a procedure done today. I don't know if she feels like talking or whether or not, but thank you, Allison, for joining. At this point, you definitely can go for your questions and stuff. And I'm just sitting here with a heart just overjoyed, totally overjoyed. Like I said earlier, I had no intention that when I gave my sister the book and a picture of myself when I was dating back in the junior prom.
Be ready. Always to be ready.
Yeah, be also ready. But thank you
also ready.
so much. And I'll be happy to answer anything that you're curious about.
Adrienne, this is Loretta. I don't have a question, but I just have to just say, those guys, you almost have to pity them because they lost out big time.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
They lost out big time.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
Is it easier to see red flags in person or when you start online?
Oh, either way, just like I said, when you go in with your eyes open and your ears open, you can detect red flags online as well. Okay. And I say that because the conversation is going to go left. It's not going to make any sense. He's going to be evasive on things that you ask. So it's just a matter of being cautious either way, you know, but you certainly can detect them online.
You got to be I feel like you have to be so present either way. Present, aware, watching.
Very aware, very aware. I think I seen a hand go up, Tanya.
Oh, yeah.
My screen might not be picking up what yours is.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah, go for it.
What type of profile should I put on online dating?
Good question.
You should not put any because you're married. But so that's that one. When that's not married anymore, we are talking.
Adrienne,
Yes.
Allison did write something in the chat. I would like to read it. And
please do.
and her surgery went very well. We're very thankful to God that everything went so well. But she said, "I'm very proud of you, Auntie. Your gift is amazing. I appreciate your vulnerability so that others can feel seen, heard, and understood."
Thank you so much. And let me tell you, she said a key word in there, and I think that I referred to it in my poem. Let me tell you what hurts relationships other than lack of communication. It's not trusting being vulnerable with one another. If you cannot be vulnerable with your partner, that is so major. You have to be able to just be naked, not physically, but just unleash your heart, because that's how you'll be able to really learn one another love languages, learn one another desires. You have to be vulnerable. So many people miss it.
At what stage do you get that vulnerability? Like I can understand it as maybe in 3 months. Or do you do that vulnerability?
You can't really put a time limit on it, because you're going to have to go about what your heart and your head are simultaneously. Don't let one be doing something different. Let them both know that you can trust this person wholeheartedly. He has your best interest. He wants to be a part of your circle. He likes you. People don't put enough emphasis on likes. Likes is more important, almost. You love them genuinely, you know, with the agape love, and you don't want any harm to come upon them. But liking a person is that you want to be in their presence. You respect their opinion. You want to have them around your circle, your children, your family. So you just got to know when to trust, and that you know that both of y'all have got the same path and goals toward making a committed relationship. Once both of y'all are on one accord with that, then you'll absolutely know that it's a time to be vulnerable, because you don't want to be vulnerable too quick, because you don't even know his intentions and his motives, what he might do with your vulnerability. And then that causes you to shut down.
I like that. I got a question in the chat. Are there any sites that you would recommend over others? Any dating sites or applications that you feel like maybe are the safest or the easiest to connect with people with?
Absolutely not. No, it's not. Because the thing of it is that all of them are designed the same way. You know what I mean? You
That would
still
make
got to
sense.
put that profile up. You still got to go in and select your preferences.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is that the sites are not perfected apps. I say that because I might put African American man, 58 to 65, 10-mile radius. I might get a Caucasian man that lives in North Carolina, and I'm like, okay, that's nothing I said. So the thing of it is that it's all the individual person you connect with. It is not going to matter which one that you're on. I don't care if you pay eHarmony or Match, or I don't care if you're on Plenty of Fish or Humble. It's going to be who you connect with.
I like that. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to wrap it up on that note, but that's a good note to wrap it up on. And I do have a few things that I do need to say. But first of all, thank you. This has been so fun, Adrainne. Not just connecting with you and your work, but I have had a fun time with everybody connecting together with your work. So thank you to all of y'all as well. And if you are in North Carolina, you can buy the book at the museum. Orange County Historical Museum. We're in Hillsborough, North Carolina. You saw bookmark fall out of there. We've been reading.
Tanya?
Yes.
Is Beverly Mitchell trying to get in?
I don't see her in a waiting room.
I texted her and she said she was trying to get on, but I was thinking maybe she was in the waiting room.
No, I didn't see her. Oh gosh.
No.
If you want to, if somebody will send me her email, I'll make sure that she gets a recording and I'll let her know. I'm so sorry that happened.
Okay, no problem. I just thought she might be there.
Thank you, Lisa, for doing that too.
Okay.
So yes, thank you again. This is the Orange County Historical Museum with Adrainne Renee Thompson. And I just have some things that I need to say here at the end. This program is a part of our current special exhibit, Date Night, Orange County Fashion, Food, Music, and Fun, all about dating in Orange County. It's only up until December 31st. So if you're in North Carolina and you're near Hillsborough, please come stop by the museum and see it. We'd also like to thank the following groups and individuals for sponsoring Date Night: PHE Incorporated, the Hillsborough and Orange County Chamber of Commerce, Sherry Apple, Pip Merrick, Ken Ostrand, and Roger Smith. And further support for the Orange County Historical Museum has been received from the American Rescue Plan Humanities Grant from North Carolina Humanities. Funding for this grant was provided by the National Endowment for the Humanities as part of the American Rescue Plan Act Economic Stabilization Plan. We would love for you to come by the museum. We are open Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can find us online at www.orangehistorync.org. I'll put it in the chat for you.
And would you also, Tanya, put in that they can find the other books that I've done on www.exlibris.com.
Let's see, EXLIBR.
No, it starts with the X. XLIBRIS.
No, oh. Okay, I think third time a charm. I think I got it. I think I got it right in the chat. I hope that's the one.
Okay. And then Tanya, just one thing,
Beverly
one
is
more
on
thing
now.
really quick. If Beverly can just say, hey. Beverly finally
is
made
on.
it in.
She's on mute, Adrainne.
Oh, Tanya, can you take Beverly off mute?
Yes, I've just sent her a message saying unmute and start video.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so sorry. Here she is.
There she is.
Girl. Everybody, this is my friend of 40 years next year. 40 years. And she was my go-to person. She knew all the
men.
She told me to be quiet. And then she helped me compile all the questions. So I wanted y'all to put a face with the name and say, you are my heart, my friend, soulmate. Thank you.
It's my sister from another mother and daddy.
Yeah. Thank you for letting her in, Tanya. I appreciate it.
Yes, I'm so sorry that it's I don't know what happened. but I'm so glad that we at least got to see you at the end. And you know all the secrets, I guess, then. You know all the secrets behind these poems.
Oh, all the secrets. I know.
It might be good that she came on late after all. Now,
It may be.
All right, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much. This was so fun, and I hope sometime we can make this happen in person.
Absolutely. When you're in Texas, stop by.
Oh, I will. Oh, I will. And I'm gonna
Thank you, Adrainne. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, and thank you all so much.
Oh, and
Good night. Good night.
Good night.